I'd like to demonstrate how to do the referencing technique using the VS Code and our GitHub repository, luxury presence JSON. So basically, this is another way for us to compare and contrast the JSON settings of our LP clients, the website of our clients. So let me begin with, of course, you need to install the VS Code. My recommendation is that you should have this installed. And secondly, is you should have an access to our GitHub repo. So you should have a copy of this luxury presence JSON. So let me put it side by side or make it this way. So let me just walk you through the luxury presence JSON. By the way, just a glimpse of this repository. These are just JSON files. As you can see, JSON file, which is the exact, let me just pull up another, let me go to the V2 dashboard. I think this should be like that. So when we go to this, to the main website, I mean the website of the client, so we have here the JSON settings. So the data, the not the dynamic pages. What are the dynamic pages or data? These are from the agents, properties, publisher, and the JSON settings are just basically the setting of the website, like the pages, the static pages or support pages. We have the headers, the global navigation, and contact overlay, and so on. So this is where this is the JSON settings um, interface. We have here an embedded text editor. You can just edit your JSON setting here, or the client's JSON setting. We also have we are what we are doing is we are copying all the code, all of this, and creating like per design. We have here a good separation of the client's JSON setting per design. So we have a lot of JSON settings here. So by convention, we're using the domain of the clients of the client, and yeah, this is basically it. So we will not talk about Compass 1, 2, and 3. Let me just basically jump into the flagship. Might be we have existing clients, exclusive, elite, and other designs. And let me use this. First, let me just open the folder per design so that we can take advantage of the similarities of these JSON settings. So let me just open it with code. Again, you should have the VS Code installed in your local machine. And let me just wait to, yeah, let me make it a little bit bigger so it occupies my entire screen. And I can just use my control plus sign on my keyboard to, let me just close this, and let me make it a bit bigger. Yes, something like that. So my VS Code setting is a bit different than maybe your setting, but let me just open my, I think the activity bar. You should have this in your local machine since this is the default layout. I have customized my VS Code to look like what I want. Um, hmm. So these are the clients, previous clients. Because some of these clients are now in our NS, the North Star, or the latest platform. Since V2 or JSON-based website are actually V2, but they do not have the UI, unlike the Compass websites. So we have here the previous clients. So to take advantage of this, let me walk you through the JSON setting. Um, you can use the VS Code to take advantage of this. Let me walk you walk you through the JSON setting by just taking a piece of this setting. So we have the global settings, we have the common or component settings, we have the global settings, and the unused free components. We have the common components, the routes, and the version of the JSON. So what we yeah, these are basically the global JSON setting. Um, we have the components setting, global free components, component, common components, routes, and of course the version. And let me go through first with the common components. So what we usually do here is, as you can see, we can just set the global button settings by changing these values, the styles and the colors. Basically, this is implementing the style on the JSON setting instead of the CSS. So dynamically, this is being pulled up uh, by the JavaScript, and dynamically, JavaScript will change the style of the buttons, the global buttons, using this common component settings. And if you can just take a look at the common custom CSS, this is our workaround to kind of inject a global CSS into the JSON websites using the JSON settings. So that we don't have to mess up with the um, every page, the per page CSS. So all we need to do is to kind of make a clean implementation. We have here the components and the value, or basically this is the CSS code. So we have a separate, completely separate lesson with regards to injecting custom CSS on V2 websites. So let me proceed to the next one, the global variables. So we have here the variable additional JS and additional header JS, and what else? And so on. We you can just minimize all the global variables, and yeah, all of this, the Instagram component, the user feed, we have the header settings, all of the global components. These are the menus, or related to font, header 1, 2, header 3, and the text for the paragraph. And we have different versions of this, and the CMS tag settings. So we have the H1s, and of course the common P tag. We can just close this, minimize this. We have the button setting. Um, we have the styles and others. We have the buttons and white button styles, the button small versions. So these are just basically the global buttons and paragraphs, the neighborhood links um, if you want to modify the neighborhood links, area links. I think this is the home search setting, but yeah, we have the search bar. This is along with these links and area links. Um, Image introduction. We have the style for the property, and the our what we call the global navigation. These are the routes, but the equivalent variable. Hmm, what else? We have, yeah, that's basically the global variables. This is not being used as of today. And we have the common components. These are the global components. We have the contact overlay. If you want to set the setting, change the settings of the global or contact overlay. So these are the things that we need to change related to contact overlay, as the name implies. We have login overlay. Yeah, you can kind of see in a code all of the settings of the client's website, site location. We have the side menu, and yeah, these are the common components. And routes basically are the pages. So let me just take it one by one. We have the homepage route. Then next to this is the about route. Then communities, the blog, and the blog details, and another custom page, and property page, property key, property sold, and components, testimonials, home valuation, vlogs. This is a custom page, another custom page, I think another custom page, and of course the thank you page, the undying 404 page, and the redirect. So yeah, this is the basic composition of the JSON component, JSON settings, but this is just related to, or specific to, the flagship or the producer design. So let me just make another video to introduce a common technique where we can just take a look at the other client setting and see how they are related, or maybe how they are, if they're the same, or if they have different settings, or they have common settings. So this is just a walkthrough of the JSON setting in general. Thank you.